Yo, what's going on? It's the Battle Blaster coming at you right now. Just wanted to hit you off with some of this stuff with this crap that's going on. And I want to put my little 2 cents in it again a little bit more. So that maybe I can make sense of this and help you to make sense of it too. Now, I live in New Jersey, and they put a curfew out, an 8 o'clock curfew. Now, if you listen to the news, not just my city and my state, and not just any other states around the country, but all over the world, everyone is getting a curfew. That's something to think about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to the curfew thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to tackle that right now while I'm here. Because knowing me, I'll probably forget it. But yeah, the curfew situation. To me, this sounds like a setup for what's about to come. Remember, your boy Donald Trump said one thing. He said this back in August, or was it September or August of last year? He said, "It's always calm before the storm." People asked him, "What do you mean by that?" He said, basically, you got to wait and see. And so he basically said, like, you know, you gotta wait and see. This cat put sanctions on China. I get tired every time I get on this thing, when I get all comfortable and shit. And I shouldn't do that. But he put sanctions on China, which I want to come back to that too. But that's what I thought it was. Like, you know, they're going to go through some issues and all that. No. Somewhere down the line, I think this is the 1% all running their game. They're about to pull the biggest trick they have ever pulled that would destroy everything that people like us have worked hard to have and worked hard for and just want to live our lives. I think these people are about to pull something very, very, they're about to pull something real big. They're already talking about gutting the Constitution. While everybody's running around talking about Corona, they're gutting the Constitution, which this is something they've planned on doing for years. They've been saying this for years, that they were going to gut the Constitution. They was going to get rid of it because, in other words, to have a I can't even say it right. Tortarial, I forgot how you pronounce it. I'm trying to pronounce it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it. But if you can't get that tortarial, I can't say it. But it's a tortarial, you know what I'm trying to say, reign. You have to do what? You have to get rid of the Constitution. You have to get rid of all the laws you claim you abide by. So this way you can make new laws and establish them and hold people hostage. The thing they claim that they don't want to be socialism and all that stuff, which the United States is a socialist country. It's a communist country as well. You know, it's everything that they claim it is not, besides one thing: a country of freedom. We are the most imprisoned, populated in the whole entire world. Not even China has prisoners sitting in jail for nothing. People getting locked up for nothing and being killed and being tortured and being executed because the simple fact of their skin color and what one other group of people feel that they can do over another. In the Bible, God said, you can hurt them, you can torture them, you could basically, he was basically saying, you can do what you want to do, you can enslave them, you can do this, that, the other to them, but don't kill them. Do not take their lives. And they have done exactly what he told them not to do. But that's neither here nor there. But that's just a little piece of it right there. But we live in this world where they're taking away the constitutional rights, which black people, we don't have constitutional rights. We are 3/5 of a human being in their eyes. That's why they can kill us and get away with it and have their lawyers and their DAs and their judges to sit there and say, oh, I don't see no problem with that. But if you killed a dog, you could do 50 to 100 years in prison, because in their eyes, a canine is more human than you are. Unless it's your canine. If you're black, it's your canine, and they shot and killed it because it was barking. You understand? These people, they have a two-way sword mentality. And this is the way they work. You speak out against them, and they want to silence you. You see, this is why you can't have the amendment no more. You can't have the Constitution, because that means you can't have guns. You can't have freedom of speech. You can't rally. You can't gather in a place with no more than 5 or 4 people. You understand? This is what they're heading for. I told y'all a long time ago, I had a dream about martial law. I had a dream that the country was under some type of martial law. And I was walking back from getting supplies, which they was giving us supplies. They was giving us water and food. And we were walking, how you had to be a block away from each other. So one person on the block, the next person a block ahead, the person behind you is a block behind you. And if that person, like I said, stopped, you had to stop. And across the street, there was a person walking towards to get their supplies while you were walking back from getting yours. You understand? And you couldn't conversate. You couldn't say, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on, cousin? You couldn't say, hey, what's going on, dog? You know, because they had troops riding up and down the street. They were in Jeeps and transports, you know what I mean? And like I said, as I walked to my apartment, across from my apartment, there's a grassy open space. And there was an Abrams tank sitting there, and he had his cannon trained on me as I walked to my apartment building, and I couldn't hear what they were saying, like I said, and they were speaking, like, they probably speaking a different language. I don't remember, but they were laughing and they were saying something. The torrent of the cannon was being trained on me. And if you don't know what trained means, it means they were following me with it. They was pointing it at me as I came across that corner. They turned that cannon towards me. They turned the torrent where the cannon is aimed at me, and they trained it. They followed me with the cannon, with the torrent. You know what I mean? Like they were going to shoot a round at me. So I get inside the house, and like I said, the people, like I said, because I haven't had cable for 5 years, and inside your home, you had to have your cable hooked up. They was basically told people you got free cable, because when there was something that went on, you had to be notified. Your TV couldn't be turned off, because that was their way of getting to you, you know, to tell you what they want to do and, you know, where to go and where you had to be at a certain time or whatever. But as I said, that's like social distancing as we see it today. You know what I mean? Where now they're telling us you can't be in this group of people because of what's going on. You can't be 3 or 4 people together because out of the 3 or 4 people, maybe one of them might have this corona virus, you know, and they don't want you to get infected. They claim they don't want you to get infected. If one person has it or 2 people have it, and other 2 people don't, now they infected you. Possibly. So, you know, that to me is in the dream was like basically the social distancing part. And the, you know, like I said, the martial law part, which to me, this is what it seems like it's edging up to, is the fact that these people are locking down towns. They're locking down states now. They're telling people you can't come or go, or, you know what I mean, you're stuck here until we get this down. Then you got you got the stupid ass president who basically, when other countries said, hey, let's put our brightest together and let's come up with a cure for this thing, he denied it. You know, then on top of it, he won't take responsibility because on his watch, he fucked up. He disbanded something that, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. He disbanded something that Obama put into place, because on Obama's watch, Obama had what they call it, Ebola. The Ebola crisis came out, which wasn't no big thing. It was like a few cases here and there, and then it just went away. Now this is on a global scale. Now the funny part about this, which makes me kind of like looking at it sideways, is when you have something this big on a global scale like the way it is, this is either the biggest test run they have ever did, or this is the real McCoy. You know? It makes you think. And like I said, this whole situation, this whole thing smells very, very bad. It's something really rotten in Denmark. And it's starting to show itself, because right now, this is the end of the run of the 1%. And right now, they're like, all bets are off. All bets are off. And they're making their final adjustments, and they're making their run now. And as the people of the United States, we will not come together. We will not stand up. We will not say anything. We sit back and we fight against each other. We fight against race. We fight against gender. We fight against this. We fight against that. We don't see the bigger picture, because right now, like I said, like a magician, these people sit here and they'll wave their hand in front of your face, both hands, and they'll use that one hand after a while the other hand sets up the trick. And while you looking at that hand, the other hand got with the knees, and bam, the trick is formed. And these people have basically, they're ready to form the trick. They're just going for that last little step, I believe. And this social distancing thing, it has so many people on edge. I heard something the other day that someone posted. I'm not going to say the name of the individual who posted it, but it was these 2 guys, these 2 gentlemen who claim they're working on the cure for this this virus. And the one guy said it seemed like the virus is more intent to go after white American men. See, when Trump did his little fuckery thing with China, I think China used that to strike back on him. China used their They use their little dirty weapons, and they send whoever they want to send out to do whatever they were supposed to do. And they did it. They actually got the shit going. They had the one doctor, come out and say he had it, come back from China. He's all jacked up with it. He was the Trojan horse, so to speak. And now all this shit is going around the world. And China was like, listen, shit, y'all motherfuckers, y'all gonna put this sanctions on us? We gonna fucking do you the way you did the Native Americans on the Trail of Tears. You gave them smallpox blankets, and you told them to go head on across the Trail of Tears, and those people dropped dead as they went along. Guess what? It takes a minute, but the roosters have come home to roost on America. People sit down and they're going to say, oh, you're not American. Who said I wasn't American? I didn't say I was an American. I was born here in this country, but I'm not treated as an American citizen. I'm treated like a 3/4 of a human, 3/5 of a human being. That means I'm less than a human. I'm treated like an animal. Even though I'm born here and not supposed to have rights, I have rights of the slave, which is no rights. When a cop can turn around and he can stop a white guy driving a car that's not mine but his, he's drunk and high. They don't give him a ticket. They don't pat him down. They don't tear open his musical instruments. They tear open mine, looking for drugs. They know I'm dressed to a T, but they want me to sit on the wet grass and shit. No, I'm not sitting on the wet grass. I got a suit on. I'm not sitting on no damn grass. These people are the devil themselves. They are the children of the devil. And then they wonder and they cry out when they thought it was a possible war between us and Iran, and even the most supposedly diehard white supremacists writes on Twitter, we don't want to go to war with you, blah, blah, blah. We just want to live our lives. And then you put their flag on your post saying that you stand in solidarity with Iran. But you are one of the biggest racists or white supremacists in this country. If y'all know who it is, figure it out. Because some of y'all will know. But when they have people here with no weaponry that is taught to look at these individuals as gods, to look at these people like they're the end all and be all, and we should never raise our hands to them. These people feel powerful because they have a law on their side. And not only do they have a law on their side, but they also have the privilege that goes along with it to do whatever they choose or whatever they feel that is accessible to them. That's the best way of me putting it. Okay? Now, getting back to the subject, because I think I kind of went a little bit south of the border. But, yeah, like I said, so now when they got these because they're trying to gut the Constitution. They already destroyed, for black people, they already destroyed the civil rights laws and everything. They dismantled a lot of that, and not only did they dismantled it, They gave people who did not fight for it, nor was it meant for them, the rights of the civil rights. You understand? See, that's the whole thing. Like I said, we sat there and we voted Obama in. We voted Obama in, and as black people, it was him and his cohorts and the people he worked for who gutted the Civil Rights Act. Gutted it. It started underneath Bush Jr. and it ramped up underneath Obama. Don't believe me? Look at it. We don't need it no more. We passed racism. Really. Like I said, at the end, all they are doing, they're dismantling everything. And the funny thing about, I want to say this about white America, these individuals will stand up and they will fight back. They will fight back. When they feel like they're being treaded on and their rights are being this is how that's all going to start. But don't get it twisted, people of color, black. Well, I ain't gonna say people of color, black people, because people of color no longer just means black. Black people. This doesn't mean these individuals will come out and not shoot and kill us. They will use that excuse as target practice for us. They already had one guy down somewhere down in, was it in South Carolina or Georgia? Him and his girlfriend, they said a guy and a girl rode up in a car. They even showed it. They drove up into like this housing complex where it's basically all black people there. And he comes out with some type of automatic rifle, and he starts shooting up the whole damn complex. And the funny part is, they had shells, and if you ever fired a gun, or if you know anything about guns, a gun's barrel is like a fingerprint. Once that bullet goes down that barrel, it scratches and it makes these identical marks on the shell. Now, if the rifle was registered, they could do what? They could find who did this, because they can match the rifle up to the registration. Now, if the rifle's unregistered and they took the shells, they can also run fingerprints. And 9 times out of 10, this kid wasn't putting on no damn gloves when he was loading that damn magazine. So why couldn't you get his fingerprints off the magazine? Just a thought. But like I said again, I'm going south of the border again. But again, these individuals, they'll be the ones that will go out and they will fight in the streets. But like I said, don't get it twisted. They will come out and they will come after us. It will be just like some target practice shit. See, as black people, we don't think about our future. We don't think about protecting ourselves. We don't think about if the world starts to go away tomorrow. We don't think about rations. I'm going to talk to y'all black people. It's time for y'all to get military rations. You can buy boxes of them. Get yourself boxes of military rations. Get them while you still can get it. And get them. They come in, they got, like I said before, they got roast beef, they got spaghetti and meatballs, they got turkey, ham, they come with vegetables, you know what I mean? They got steak, you know what I mean? And like I said, all you do is you add water to it. Get some like warm water, you add it, and you close up the lid, and what it does, it heats up on its own. There's a chemical in the sauce that makes it heat up on its own. And as soon as it's done, it's like a warm meal. You can eat it right there and there. So I advise y'all guys to go out and buy yourself some military rations. You can look them up on not eBay, on Google, and you'll see survival rations and stuff. You can look that up, and some come 12 in a pack, some comes 24 in a pack. And if you just think about buying yourself a case, and if you and your family, you got some family members that work with you, y'all should buy a case every month. The rations are good for 10, some are good for 20 years. Just in case if we have to go through something like this again, and it lasts a hell of a lot longer than what this may last or whatever, at least you'll have it. But back onto the subject at hand. Like I said, and you have to think about, like I said, you have to think about what this president is doing. He's not thinking about the American people, because if he really was, he would have took the offer of the other countries, and he would have worked right alongside of them trying to find a cure for this thing, if this thing is really, because like I said, a lot of the stuff that is leaked, I believe a lot of this stuff, the CDC, or like I said, people from the deep states on both sides, China and America, had a lot to do with this, and this could have easily go away tomorrow if they chose to. But somewhere down the line, I think these people want to do this so they can put fear in you, and then they can give you some type of shot that will later on take your life away, or it's going to hurt you later on, or weaken your immune system, so when they're ready to do the next big thing, they can just go ahead on and do it. This is why a lot of us need to be scientists. A lot of us need to learn about chemicals and other things that you can learn how to mix and max and make your own cures for yourself, compounds and all that stuff. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, oh my goodness, there's so much I wanted to talk to y'all about. Now I'm starting to forget a lot of stuff. This is why I hate doing this, because when I do it on a whim, it's easy and it comes out easier. And curfew type of things that really gets me. That's another thing. That's another form of control, because like I said, not only with the social distancing thing, that's them telling you you're no longer able to be around 3 to 4 a group of people anymore. Pretty soon they're going to make that illegal. They're going to make it illegal. They start to make it illegal now, where you can't be in the company of more than 3 people or 4 people. Pretty soon they're going to tell you if you're married and you got your kids and y'all the only people you need, you don't need no one else, and you can't be around another group of people. This is another form of control that they want to have over you. This is something they always wanted, and they're getting. Like I said, if this is not a test run, then God help us. If it is a test run, prep yourself for what is to come. Trust me, I am not lying. I see the writing on the wall. I hope you will too. But let me get up off this thing real quick. I'm gonna make a part 2 to this, because my time is running out and I see it's running out. I probably got 2 more minutes, but let me I'm gonna make a part 2 to this and we'll go from there. All right, peace.